Hello and good morning. Today we are going to continue discussion about power sharing. So in our previous part of our lectures, we had already discussed about what is power sharing and intelligent power sharing, and power sharing is the essence of democracy. And we also discussed the Belgium story, and today let us continue with the stories of Sri Lanka. As we all know that Sri Lanka is an island nation. Sri Lanka, officially the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, is an island country in the northern Indian Oceans of the southern coast of the Indian subcontinent in South Asia. It is also known as Ceylon until 1972. So Sri Lanka has a maritime border with India to the northwest and the Maldives to the southwest. In the next slide, let us see ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. So in Sri Lanka has a diverse population of about 2 crores people, with 74% being Sinhalas and who follow Buddhist religions. And then we see there are 18% Tamils are there. So among the Tamils also subgroups of Tamils, Sri Lankan Tamils, they are Tamil native of the Sri Lanka are called Sri Lankan Tamils. They constitute 13% of the populations and are concentrated in the north and east of Sri Lanka. And most of Sinhala speaking peoples are Buddhists. Well, we all know most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslim. And in Indian Tamils, the Tamilians whose forefathers came from India as a plantation worker during colonial rules and settled in Sri Lanka are called Indian Tamil. They constitute 5% of the population, and they are about 7% Christian, who are both Tamil and Sinhala. And from the next slide, let us move on to the next slide. We see Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. When Sri Lanka became independent in 1948, the leader of the Sinhala community established dominance over government by virtue of their majority. And the government took many steps to establish majoritarianism. So, what is majoritarianism? Majoritarianism is a concept and belief which state that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way they want, by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. So in 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language, and thus disregarding the Tamil. The government follow preferential policies that favor Sinhala applicant for the university post and government job. A new constitution also stipulated that the state shall protect and promote Buddhism as a state religion. All these government measures gradually increased the feeling of alienation among the Sri Lankan Tamil. They feel that none of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders were sensitive to their language and culture, and the relation between the Sinhalas and the Tamil community became very strained and very bad over time. And this led to the civil war. So we see from the next slide, these are as we see from the slide, by 1980, several political organizations like LTTE, Liberation Tigers of Ilim, were formed, and they demanded regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education and job, but their demands are repeatedly denied. And then they also started to demand independent Tamil Elam state in the northern and eastern parts of Sri Lanka. The conflict between the two communities soon turned into a civil war. So it turned into a civil war. So let us see, the civil war resulted in the killing of thousands of peoples of both the community. The civil wars also caused a terrible setback to the social, culture, economic life of the country. Many families were forced to leave the country as a refugee, and lots of people lost their livelihood. So the conclusion we can derive from the conclusion of the stories of two countries is that in Belgium, the leaders have realized that the unity of the country is possible only by respecting and sharing power and sharing intelligent power and the feeling and the interests of different communities as much as possible. So that is why they maintained and they remained united as one nation and one country and avoided civil war. But on the other side of the story, Sri Lanka shows us a contrasting opposite example. It shows us that if a majority community wants to force its dominance over other and refuse to share power, it can undermine the unity of the country. So that is how we can analyze and we can discuss from these two stories. So for today, let us end our discussion. In our upcoming discussion, we will cover and we will try to discuss the needs of power sharing and the forms of power sharing. So for today, enjoy this and have a good day.